Welcome to On Air. I'm your host once again, Marcus Vadas, and we are here at Postmodern Studios in Irvine, Cali. I'm throwing it up for you, Jim. This is right. This is for you. If we were in New York, I'd be doing the East Side. East Side. You know, in my years of experience, 11 years now of experience, I've worked with a lot of very cool, talented people, a lot of really cool, talented directors, and this next guest is the guy who I actually did my very first set of broadcast commercials with. I've known him for a long time. He is a really cool guy, a really cool director, very talented DP. Let's welcome to our set, Mr. Mike Miller. Mike?
Hey, Marcus.
Thanks for coming on board, man. I really appreciate it. Mike Miller, everybody. So, Mike, you started out in Sydney, Australia.
Yep, that's right. Started out in an agency in McKenna Erickson as an art director. Then I went to Young and Rubicam, became co-creative director, and then I was transferred to the New York office of Young and Rubicam.
How long were you in New York as a creative director?
I was in New York for 8 years all up, but I was there for 5 years with Young and Rubicam. And then freelanced the rest of the time.
There's a lot of people that work in advertising that, you know, they start out as art directors and copywriters, and they kind of parlay into directing and production. How did you kind of get your...
Well, it's something I just really wanted to do. I mean, I sort of started directing a lot of my own commercials right from the very beginning when I first started, you know, writing and making ads.
As an art director?
As an art director, yeah. And so I directed a lot of my own stuff, and I just, you know, figured eventually, because it was something I wanted to do, I'd become a director. That's what I wanted to do, and so went through the whole agency thing and really enjoyed that, and you know, it was great. And then and along the way, directed my own stuff and sort of built up a reel, and then it was time, you know, I wanted to sort of take that next step, and that's what I did, and so I left the agency world and then spent a lot of time knocking on doors and you know, got a few breaks from friends in the business and stuff, and then so then I had some other commercials to show and got some more, and then sort of, you know, built a reel.
One of the things that intrigued me about you, and I've worked with a lot of directors, and there's directors that are solely directors, and then there's the director DP, and you're more of the director DP, but you've got such a great eye.
Thanks.
When it comes to DP, and I noticed you're really hands-on. When we shot LA Times, for example, you were not only directing the talent and doing the DP, but you were also operating the camera, and I mean, really getting in there, and we were doing camera stops and everything for the flashes. I
mean, basically, I'm a storyteller. I mean, that's what I do, and you know, I take the idea and you know, express that as best I can in terms of bringing that alive and communicating with the audience. And along the way, and the stuff I do is, you know, I work with actors, and it's dialogue and it's film narrative, and I just think there's something much more powerful when I'm looking through the camera and I'm actually making the connection with the actors, and I'm actually watching them through the camera. And the other thing too, as an operator, is that if you employ an operator, you know, you can find yourself doing things where you're actually crossing over a line in that, you know, some operator might think that's a mistake, but I know what I'm looking for, and I'll make those mistakes deliberately because I know where it'll cut in and everything else, and it usually works a treat, and you can sort of end up with stuff that's much more powerful in terms of
an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly, and so I just, maybe also I'm a control freak, but you know, that's yeah, I think that the whole storytelling using film is right across that whole spectrum.
We have a spot that we're going to look at for ASC called The Check.
It's a loan. You do understand that? Mm-hmm. It has to be paid back.
I get it.
Just wanted to be clear. As soon as I can.
It's okay, Dad.
One unsafe investment is all it takes. Learn to ask the right questions at albertasecurities.com.
Tell me a little bit about that spot before we view it.
Yeah, it's a great spot actually. I mean, the whole idea, and I guess, you know, the bottom line for me is the idea. I think the idea is what's most important, and it's a process of bringing that alive is what my job is. And one of the things that I wanted to do with this is I wanted to make it very, very real, you know. So when we're looking at it, and it's a great example for both direction and also as a DP, and I wanted the house and the room they were sitting in to look real. I mean, I wanted it to be as though you would see it with your own eye, you know. And film doesn't have the same sensitivity as the eye does. So what would have happened is that we had this big, you know, sort of picture window, and it's like this great light source, and it would have looked okay, but it wouldn't have looked real. It would have looked like film, you know. And so basically, I had to balance all the light out through the rest of the house. And so I designed and had built these like 3 special, really soft light boxes, and positioned them strategically, and just balanced the light all the way through the house. And it's kind of like it actually was quite a challenging DP, you know, sort of solution, but it doesn't get in the way at all of the execution. It's not trickery. It's actually you don't even see what was done, which I think makes it even more powerful. It makes it work.
There's another spot that I want to look at, the Norwich Union Navigator spot. Yeah. Now this spot, great casting still, but this involves a lot of CGI.
This is what we've put together.
Is it secure?
They manage over 140 billion worldwide.
Without a navigator, the pilot is flying blind. Think of us as your financial navigator.
Tell me about it. You shot all that on location?
Well,
the office building.
Oh, the office building stuff was shot on location. Yeah. And the opening scene of the guy walking into his office, we shot that. It was on location, looking out those windows, and we shot it pre-dawn with 800 stock, and then I just ND'd the windows, chasing the same exposure during the day. The cockpit stuff was a reconstruction of a F-111 cockpit, and
like an exact.
Yeah, an exact replica, a full-size replica, and also we had to do some motion control stuff to match it into the CGI of the plane when it was flying and all that sort of stuff. And the plane itself is CGI, and even then I sort of approached as a DP in terms of how I wanted to look. I wanted that nighttime look, but we still had to see detail.
Right.
And the way the software was written, you know, the object that was lit with 2 small direct lights, and that's not, you know, that soft skylight look. So we ended up we rewrote the software basically to get the right sort of light look on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the guys who did the CGI worked really, really hard on it, and they did a great job, I think.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Really appreciate it and taking the time and come visit with us. You can check out more of Mike's reel by clicking the URL down at the bottom of the screen there, and check out his whole reel. It's awesome. You won't be disappointed. Thanks for click and play. We'll see you next week. I'm your host, Marcus Vadas, and we are out.